Hey Bulldogs, let's see what's happening this week on Code Blue News. Andrew has more information on the Hero Squad fundraiser. Natalie brings attention to COVID safety with a PSA. I talk about middle school's full return to school. And Matt explains the importance of pronouns. Now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you.
Hey Bulldogs, welcome back to Code Blue News Season 3. I'm Joseph McLaughlin here with Matthew Messina, 6 feet apart.
Some of you may not know this, but this week is Assistant Principal Week, so we'd like to give a special thank you to Mrs. O.D. for her great work here at HMHS and her continued support for Code Blue News.
Continuing with our weekly financial literacy fact, did you know people under 18 are 50 times more likely to have at least one other person using their social security number to open accounts, including lines of credit and utility accounts? Minors are targets for identity theft because of their young age. They have clean credit reports and often do not discover the theft until they reach adulthood and apply for credit.
Identity theft has increased significantly since the beginning of the pandemic. Through April 2022, you can check your credit report for free on a weekly basis using each of the 3 national agencies, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, using the website annualcreditreport.com.
Staying on the topic of money, the annual Pennies for Patients fundraiser, known as Hero Squad, is currently underway here at HMHS. Andrew Larassi has more information.
The National Junior Honor Society is holding its annual Pennies for Patients fundraiser. Now nicknamed Hero Squad, the money raised goes to finding cures for blood cancers, including leukemia and lymphoma. It also goes into direct help for patients and their families. Information and materials about this fundraiser were given out in English classes last week. The NJHS is looking for donations. Coins, dollar bills, checks, online donations, anything helps. Any donations not done online can be brought to Miss Grant in room C-130. In the past 4 years, HMHS has raised over $5,000 for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. This year, the goal is to raise at least $1,000. If every student donates just $2, that milestone will easily be reached. This has been Andrew Rossi with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Andrew. This morning, Prince Philip passed away at the age of 99. A statement from the royal family stated he died in his sleep peacefully. Prince Philip helped to modernize the royal family, pushing for them to broadcast events live for the country to see, and he was the first member of the royal family to do a television interview.
A reminder to all seniors, scholarship information is due Monday, April 12th. Please contact Mrs. McLaughlin with any questions.
Now, let's go to Natalie Holbrook, who has some quick info about COVID-19 safety.
While the COVID-19 vaccine has started to be distributed, the virus is still very much prevalent. There's a lot of information and even more misinformation out there in the news, so it can be tricky knowing how to interpret numbers and statistics. If there is one thing we all should know, it's that the coronavirus continues to spread daily, and we should all continue to take proper precautions, wear your mask the appropriate way, and make sure it's safe for you and the people around you. You should wear them if you are going to be out in public or somewhere where there's a lot of people around you. Sanitize frequently before every class, and wash your hands thoroughly after school, after a trip to the store, and after every bathroom use. Continue to do your part in keeping yourself and others safe and healthy. This has been Natalie Holbrook. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Natalie. Staying on the topic of COVID, Massachusetts has fully vaccinated over 1.5 million citizens, with people 16 and older being eligible beginning April 19th. Remember to keep wearing your mask and follow the guidelines.
As more people get vaccinated, schools have been bringing back students full-time, including our very own Holbrook Public Schools. Joe has more on the story.
With more and more students returning to school full-time, it is now the 6th graders' turn to make their return. Holbrook 6th graders will be the first group of students on the high school side of the building to return full-time starting the 12th of April, followed by the 7th and 8th graders on the 26th. With all of these students coming back, what are their thoughts and feelings about a 5-day week? And how does this affect the school as a whole?
Yes, I'm excited for kids to return full-time 5 days a week. I'm very excited to not have to Zoom every day. I'm that teacher that forgets to unmute myself sometimes, and it's going to be nice to have everyone in front of me, and I think we'll be learning a little bit more. Definitely excited for that.
Yeah, I'm happy because it's going to be like way better, and I can like learn a lot easier instead of like going back and forth. It's kind of hard to like retain the knowledge when you're sitting on like your bed or your desk, like not doing anything.
I think it's a good thing because home was harder to learn because of distractions at home, like phones and stuff.
As for the students who are fully remote, they will remain remote through the end of the school year until the school receives further information on dates and details regarding the high school students from the Commissioner of Education. They will continue to attend in person on their cohort days and switch to a full day of remote learning each Wednesday beginning the 28th of April.
I actually feel like we should still have that like whole like Wednesday half day and stuff, so we could like they could clean the building in the middle of the week, and then we could go back, and then it could just be cleaned and everything to make sure that nobody gets sick or anything.
Well, like in the classrooms we're more close together, so maybe, but I think it's going to be like the same like after a while.
This has been Joseph McLaughlin with Code Blue News. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Joe.
This week, Code Blue News partnered with the GSA to talk about personal pronouns. CBN reporter Matthew Messina is here with more.
Besides your name, one of the most common ways people are referred to are pronouns. Everyone from your mom to the barista at Starbucks refers to you by using pronouns. They are simply a part of our identification. For years, people have connected certain pronouns to masculinity and femininity. You may call a woman her and a man him on instinct. Many people still do this today, whether they realize it or not. However, this may not always be accurate to the individual's identification. An individual's sex that they were assigned at birth is not the same as the gender they identify as. Your sex is your biological traits, which make you male, female, transgender, etc. Your gender is your personal identity, which make you man, woman, non-binary, etc. This is why it's important to learn people's personal pronouns. Just because you may initially think that a man goes by he and him, doesn't mean they do. They could identify as a woman, going by she, her, or identify as non-binary, going by they, them.
For me, personal pronouns is a good way to show that you are proud of who you are, and it shows how you identify in the way that you are most comfortable.
It is incredibly important to learn people's personal pronouns because, well, it's who they are. No one wants to be identified incorrectly. Unfortunately, personal pronouns are very stigmatized by certain cisgender people who may find it unnecessary. However, say it with me, everyone has personal pronouns. Everyone has a way that they want society to address them. And if you find it questionable that people have pronouns that go against feminine or masculine norms, my question to you is, why? Shouldn't everyone in this world be able to choose how they are identified? It's how people feel, and they can't and shouldn't change that.
I think a lot of people think that pronouns aren't as big of a deal as they actually are. A lot of people just kind of like glaze over them and don't put as much effort into using the correct pronouns that people ask them to use.
Nonetheless, since there is still so much stigma surrounding personal pronouns, here are some ways to be a better ally. Firstly, a common question from cis people trying to learn how personal pronouns work is, what if I call someone the wrong pronoun? First of all, anyone who is called a pronoun that they don't identify with should correct the other person. Don't feel bad or awkward about it because once again, it's who you are. And if you are that person who calls someone the wrong pronoun, just quickly correct yourself. No need to dwell on it. If you apologize multiple times, it puts both of you in an awkward position. Secondly, get in the habit of correcting other people who use incorrect pronouns, even when talking about someone who isn't present. Him and I went to the store the other day. Her and I. Yeah, my bad. Her and I went to the store the other day. Lastly, I invite everyone watching this segment to go add their personal pronouns to their Instagram and Twitter bio, and especially your Zoom username, as it shows people in the meeting how to refer to you. These small things, once again, normalize personal pronouns and makes everyone a little more comfortable with their identity. And if you think adding pronouns to your bio is pointless, let me say it one more time, everyone has personal pronouns. This is Matthew Messina, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Matt. Before we wrap up this week's show, we at Code Blue News would like to wish our resident superhero, Donovan Sands, a happy birthday. If you see him in the halls, be sure to wish him a wonderful happy birthday.
That wraps up this week's show. I'm Matthew Messina.
And I'm Joseph McLaughlin. See you next Friday.